So the Aptera is an amazing upcoming electric vehicle. If you look at the updates, you can see that it's been meticulously designed for efficiency while being multifunctional. It really screams user experience. And so I was inspired to create what I thought would be an app that would be used in conjunction with the vehicle. So I designed the app to be just as the vehicle is, very simple, efficient, and user-friendly. And so I thought I'd give a tour of my low-fidelity mock-up. So when it came to the primary menus, I thought about what functions a person might want to access quickly and seamlessly, as if they're holding the phone with just one hand, maybe they're even walking. And so I decided that to switch between these menus, a user can either swipe left or right to access all of the information that they want. If they want to jump straight to a menu, they can simply tap the button to do that. So at the top of every page, of course, you have your account. Um, tapping on here, well, you can look at the information pertaining to the vehicle you purchased, as well as every communication you might be having with Aptera Motors. Because the Aptera has solar panels built in and its aerodynamic design, the Aptera is always closely connected with this environment. So I thought knowing the weather and displaying the weather would be a nice touch. And so each weather pattern will have its own animation, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility because all of our weather apps nowadays have their own special animations. And so I thought this would be a nice area to have that weather animation, and it would also even fall on top of the car. So here we have the information panel. So here, knowing what the current battery level is and the charging time, that's always of interest to EV owners. And as for the Aptera, knowing the type of charge you're getting from your solar panels would be something they'd want to know. And so I'm thinking to the right of this area is where perhaps some notifications would appear, for example, if there's a software update, or perhaps you have something in your inbox. Central in the screen will be a 3D model of your particular car. I'm a really big fan of 3D models. Now, of course, since this is a low-fidelity mock-up, I'm just using the images from the Aptera Motors website. But essentially, the model would change position based upon the menu that you're accessing, and you'll get to see that. So here, this first screen is your home/status page. It gives you the current state of the vehicle, which of course is charging. It's plugged in right now, charging, and these indicate that it's collecting energy through solar panels. If you were driving, it would show the car in animation. It would display here, the battery level and, what the speed of it is, what gear it is, and everything. And so even if it's just sitting idle, it'll have this information for you. The next page over will be the controls, which gives you, they're basic controls I thought someone might want access to. So I like the idea of having them placed on the vehicle, as opposed to, down here in a panel somewhere, because I feel like it creates a connection that you are controlling this vehicle. So I opted to have those buttons on there. I'm not completely sold on the button design I have here. I am looking for ways to perhaps make them a little more minimalist, but of course, worrying about contrast is a big thing with me. So this might just be a temporary thing that I'm using, but I haven't quite decided yet. So the next menu, this is all of your charging information. So you have the option to stop your solar panels from collecting energy or stopping your plug-in power. And you have your slider here to determine at what charging level you want your Aptera to charge up to. The next page over is the climate system. So you have here, you can choose which seat warmer you'd like, either the passenger or the driver. The Aptera is a two-seater. And down here you can change the temperature of the climate system. And tapping the middle, you will be able to activate the climate system so that way the car will be comfortable when you enter into it. And finally, the last main screen will be the location. So this first screen here will give you the current location of the vehicle in real time, and as you start typing an address up here, you'll be prompted to plan a route. And so when you plan the route, it will give you a rough idea of the amount of time it will take you with that route. Now, of course, for this vehicle, weather patterns are incredibly important, so it will do its best to map weather patterns based on what the weather currently is on your route. And so it will display areas of where perhaps you're not going to gain much energy from the sun, uh, low low amounts of it, and then medium, and then perhaps even higher. And so it'll give you this basic estimation, and then when you feel like that's something that you're good with, you can simply press this button here and it'll push it directly to your vehicle. There are already apps out there that are route planners for EVs that take into consideration wind and temperature along your route. So this doesn't seem to be out of the realm of possibility for me. So those are the basic functions I thought someone would want to have, quick at their fingertips, so they can use it seamlessly, all with a single hand. So for any of those functions a person might use less frequently, or perhaps they might be sitting down, I created a pull-up menu here. And so looking at a couple of the different options and functions a person might want to use, scheduling charging, so you'll be able to, if your car is plugged in, you can schedule at the specific times when your car will begin charging, when it will stop charging. Performance, this will allow you to track your vehicle's efficiency and battery life over time, displaying different charts. Security, typically used to add and remove phone keys and giving others the right to access your car. Upgrades, so right to repair is a huge factor in Aptera's design. Aptera Motors have said that right to repair is a very important part of its design. And so this is where you'd go to order new parts for upgrades or maybe even some merchandise. Services. So Aptera has mentioned that they're a big fan of Tesla's mobile service model. And so here you would go to schedule mobile service appointments. Roadside, this would be for contacting roadside assistance. And here, this would give you connection to the forums online. Of course, with EVs, it's a special community all to its own. But especially the Aptera is one of a kind. And so this will give you access to the forums, so you can ask questions, and especially those that are there for support for Aptera Motors. And of course, what I feel is a really big part of this, and this is something I would love to see more of, is the voice assistant. It won't matter what screen you're on. The voice assistant is easily accessible. Just by tapping on this here, you'll be able to ask the voice assistant, different things. And this will do more than just attempt to read what you say and then search for what you might want. It will function more like a bot assistant that you might, if you're, asking for help, with, for example, with Verizon or, different places like that. So, you might mention something, and it'll give, depending on what you say, it might give you a couple of options, and then it'll read out what that action is. And so there'll be certain actions that it can do right off the bat. For example, turning on the climate and activating it at 68 degrees. That's something that would be pretty simple. But for example, say you wanted to order some upgrades, that's not something it could do on its own, but instead it will access that menu for you. It'll bring up the menu for you. So I think with this button, really it'd be a quicker way just to bring up any of these menus, make a quick jump to any of the things that you need. Makes it really, really easy. And so this is just my idea for what a mobile app for Aptera Motors would look like. Hopefully as time goes on and I have more time, I'd like to flesh it out more and improve on it and make the prototype even bigger. So thank you very much for watching.